I absolutely love your new single, Born for This. Talk
Yay!
about where the concept came from.
Yeah, so this whole record overall, our theme is something of encouragement and being strong and being confident in who you are. And so that song is kind of like the, epitome of the record and the message that we're trying to convey. And so that's kind of the inspiration is just finally feeling comfortable in your own skin and being able to stand up for who you are and what you believe in and not worrying so much about what other people think and and I don't mean it in a like condescending or overly confident type of way, but like a just a comfortable and it's okay if you don't like me type of way. So, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to that message or should be able to relate to it.
Are those some of the themes then that you also explore on this upcoming self-titled album you guys have been working on?
Yes. Yes. The overall message that I hope to convey is one of encouragement and strength and just like I said, being comfortable with who you are and just letting that show. So it's just an encouraging record, is what I'm hoping to convey.
Born for This is the second single
Mhm.
off of this album. What are some other tracks that you can tease maybe that have a special place in your heart?
Yeah. So I love the song called Tomorrows. And it's one of my favorite songs off of the record because the lyrics, I just really love the lyrics to it, and the melody is super catchy. It's a good like mid-tempo song, so it's not like too like with all the screaming, but it's not a really slow song either.
Mm.
So it's just kind of a perfect middle of the road, really good to listen to, catchy song. And like I said, the lyrics I just love, and it's kind of a cool little story. Our son actually came up with, like, he wrote his own little song, and he had two lines in his song, and he's 9 years old, so it was like pretty good. And I read two of his lines. I was like, oh my gosh, mommy needs to steal that idea. So that's where the first two lines came from. I won't fall today, I won't fall tomorrow. And I just like
Aw,
took that idea and ran with it, and it turned into the song. And so he gets writing credit on the album.
good.
Yes.
He
And
will expect royalties too.
oh, yes, he wants the royalties. We'll talk about that later, like maybe an allowance, I don't know. But yeah, it's one of my favorite songs. It turned out to be, and it's just funny because, he had those lines, the little nugget, and I was like, "Oh, I have a great idea." So, I love it.
Well, when you're not borrowing inspiration from your son, what is your songwriting process? Do you all need to have music before you can come up with your lyrics? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously in this case you had the in
Yeah.
that case you had the lyrics
Yeah.
beforehand.
Well, in previous records, how we would do it, the whole writing process is my husband would bring me a song basically musically. So he would come up with all the guitar parts and have the ideas for the drums, and he would do like even the bass lines. I mean, he came up with everything musically. And then he would give it to me and say, here's the song. And then I would come up with melody and lyrics and put it on top of the music bed that he gave me. This record, we did a little bit differently. We basically wrote the music and the melody and lyrics at the same time. So we kind of were like, oh, this would be really cool for a verse. And then I'd come up with, I have this melody idea. So maybe play something here, So we were able to be more collaborative with it and
Okay.
write the whole thing at the same time instead of one person did it and then gave it to the other person and then they would finish it. So we just worked way more hand in hand on this record. And it was much easier, but I will say I don't think we could have done it as well before. And I don't know, I think it's just age, maturity, and experience. We've been doing this for 15 years now. And I feel
Wow.
like it was easier before to just let me get my idea out first and then you figure it out from there,
Piece
or
it
vice versa
together
with
from
me,
there.
like here's my idea, now you figured it. I feel like that's just where we were. And now it's easier to write on the fly, so to speak, to where it's like fluid and together and
Right.
more on a whim, but it worked and it made it a lot more fun. And it felt just more authentic and cohesive, I guess, when we were writing together. So we're excited that we were able to do it this way finally.
Was it the pandemic that created this change for you, or was it just an idea you had and you were like, we need to be together more rather than piece by piece by piece and then layering
Yeah,
it together?
it was, I don't know if it was really the pandemic at all, for the choosing to write that way. I feel like um, we just decided to try it. You know, we had tried it in the past and it was a little bit more difficult. We weren't like hitting at the same time. I would have inspiration after or before. And, you know, it was just like, it was easier to do it at separate times because it would depend on when our inspiration would hit. Now, again, age and experience, I guess. I don't know. But it
Hindsight.
was, yeah, it was just really easy. We were both having inspiration at the same time in the same direction, and it worked.
How much of a hand then did you guys have when it came to production of this album, as far as like the engineering, adding little tidbits here and there
No,
yourselves?
the whole thing we did at our house. So my husband is like a musical genius. I mean, not only can he play guitar really well, but he did basically everything that you hear,
Wow.
all the little weird noises, like even things that no one will ever notice because there's a bunch of layers if you listen intricately to the song.
Right.
He did it all. The only thing we did do was we had Lester play drums, and he plays with Kelly Clarkson. He was in Pillar. He's an amazing drummer. So he played the drums and recorded them in his studio. And then I recorded 6 songs vocally in the studio with Travis Wyrick, who has Lakeside Studios in Tennessee. The other 4 we did here in our studio, and then the rest was all Mark.
Wow, are you guys planning to do some live streams or maybe an upcoming tour to show off this great new album?
Yeah, well, we had shows planned for this year. We had to cancel some of them.
I'm sure.
Yeah, which was a super bummer, especially because we had waited 2020 out, you know, with COVID. But I have some health issues going on right now, and we're still trying to get to the bottom of what's causing it. But it's not safe for me to do shows at the moment. So we had to cancel those shows. I have another doctor's appointment coming up next week. We think we are pinpointing it to what is the problem, but I don't want to say anything yet until I see this other doctor to make sure that he's on the same page. We're planning on making an announcement after we meet with him just to make sure so we can fill everybody in, even if the answer is like there's no answer yet. But we plan on updating everybody as I go through the process of figuring out what's going on. So for now, until I get to a place where it's safe to perform, I can't. So we're waiting to see. And hopefully it's like an easy answer. You don't have to do this or you have to take this pill or whatever, and then I'm fine.
Fingers are
So we'll
crossed.
see. Yeah.
Well, we're sending
Well,
you good thoughts and
thank
well
you.
wishes for an easy recovery
Thank you. Yeah.
if that's
Well,
what, you know.
and
Well,
again, I'm gonna update everybody on what you know what the answer is. I hope next week sometime. So
well, the album's coming out tomorrow. I hope you have some big
yeah.
plans to celebrate.
Well, we're doing a Friday Night Live tomorrow. So that's going to be fun. We always do the Friday Night Lives, but we have the other guys in the band who are going to be on. And I think we're going to do a song off of the new record, acoustic style, which will be fun. We're talking about having a guest on there if we can figure out timing and stuff and make it work. We'll see. It was kind of a last minute idea. So we'll see if it happens. But in any case, we're still going to have the whole band together and do a song, which will be fun. So, and then maybe ice cream. I don't know.
I'm sure your son will at least demand that to celebrate.
Yes. Oh, yeah. My kids definitely vote ice cream.
Is you mentioned the guest that's coming on. Is there someone though that you would love to collaborate, a dream collab you'd love to work with in the future with someone?
I mean, there are a lot of people. I love like Shinedown and Sevendust and 3 Days Grace and a lot of those like modern rock style, you know, groups. I don't know. Trevor, I was pretty happy to be able to collaborate.
He was happy too.
That's our doggy. I was pretty happy to be able to collaborate with Trevor. I've been a fan of TFK since the early 2000s. So for me to be able to write with him, we had toured with him. We love him. He's a great guy. But to be able to actually have like a duet, you know, it's Awesome. So I was very happy with that collaboration. That was one of my, like, I could check that off my little list now. So yeah.
Well, is there anything else about this new album you want to be sure we share with our followers and readers?
Um, Definitely just if you like it, maybe support it by purchasing it on iTunes. I know that that idea is kind of one that as time goes on, people are throwing out the window, like actually paying for the product. But if you like it, that's like a way for us to be able to know and continue on, our career. Um, I know it's a crazy idea to pay for music, but if you like want us to keep doing it, it helps. But alternatively, even if you love your Spotify and don't want to buy it, like I have Spotify too. I'm not going to judge you. It's fine. But we do say, like, go on our website and buy a t-shirt or attend a show and just purchase the ticket. That supports us as well. Share little things on your social media here and there. All of those things help promote the band. So I just say, if you want us to continue, help us do that, because we can't do it if we have like no support. So just
Right.
support if you enjoy it.
What would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of The Letter Black?
Thank you. You are awesome, and you are the reason we are still here.